name is Misael. So today,
Hello.
today, today we have four theories we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be covering two of them. He's going to be covering the other two. I'm going to be doing the dark simulation theory, while he does the Indian theory or the India theory. Um, and then I'm going to be covering the Fight Club theory, the 1999 movie, and he's going to be covering up some religion one as well. So, Misael, would you like to start?
All right. For India, they are battling a huge crisis. There's a fatal fungal threat as virus death near. There's a lot of death there. The death toll is 300K. That is very a lot, but it's nothing new. It's not even a lot because India happens to be the second most populated country in the world, right after China. And not only that, I mean, there's like a lot of people. There's like it's a lot of growth in the society and the nation. There's an increasing trend of unemployment, um, overcrowding of infrastructure, uh, the depletion of natural and man-made resources, and overpopulation happens to be somewhat of a social issue over there. So it's not really much a surprise to think that the government would have to do something about this problem. And, you know, and that's mainly why I think India is being hit hard right now, is because, there's a new strain, but it's so coincidental that it only hits India for right now. And And obviously, in my opinion, this is a form of population control for India. And I mean, it makes sense because there's there during the 60s, 70s, there was a lot of population growth in India. I mean, it's like really a mess, and there's a lot of illness spreading around, and it makes total sense that the government would want to do something about this, and that's why I believe that that's why there's a lot of people dying in India.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds crazy right now, especially for what's happening over there in India and the stuff that's happening here. We also have our own pandemic. But I kind of feel bad for India over there because they're losing a lot of resources.
Yes, the B1351 variant um, is somewhat detrimental to the whole society of India. This new strain is thought to what's it called? It's thought to mutate, and they're trying to double down on all this. But to be honest, um, it's it's this new variant is very contagious, and that is one reason why the government would want to kill off these people. And you know, killing off people, you get more money. So
Exactly. So if you think about it, COVID-19 started in a very populated area that did kill a lot of the population or a good amount of the population there. So what if the government just created these like
yes,
crazy viruses just to like control the population a little bit, you know?
yeah. I want to add because you said that it started in a popular area, right? It started in Wuhan, China. Um, yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of suspicion because the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation did, I think it was them, did a what's it called, a simulation before of how a pandemic would affect worldwide, and this happened in 2019. They did this like simulation with like a lot of people, and it's kind of bizarre that there are a lot of presidents who visited that lab in Wuhan, China.
Yeah, honestly, hold on. I'm gonna add on to this real quick, all right? So there's this
Mhm.
rapper, I forgot what his name was, but it came out 2013. he was rapping, and during the last part of his verse or his whole thing, he says COVID
Mm-hmm.
19 or coronavirus is gonna affect 2021 and 2020. Um, but this was made in 2013. I looked through it, and it seems like he was right. He told everybody about coronavirus, and if someone knew any more information about that, they'd be dead, right? But
Mm-hmm.
no, he didn't die. He's still alive, probably rapping. But I did more research on it and found out that there's a few cases back in like 2013, 2016, one of those. And the crazy thing was, he said that there's going to be coronavirus, right? What? There's coronavirus already here.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. I think that's it for India. Now let's go on over to your topic now that you wanted to talk about.
All right, we're going to talk about one of my favorite ones. Excuse me, I got to yawn. All right, so the dark simulation theory. All right. I'm not too sure if I want to keep it as dark simulation or the Black Mirror simulation, because Black Mirror is about all the simulations and stuff. But with the dark simulation theory, it's a whole lot. All right. So with this theory is, what if we're all in a simulation? Obviously, hence the name dark simulation, right? But what if we're all in a simulation created by humans way back then that evolved super, like, they didn't evolve, but they gained so much knowledge, right, to create this overpowered computer that basically controls everything, like um Donald Trump, right? We had him as president, but what if that's not happening where they're at, and what happened to them is much worse than what's happening to us now, and they're just testing out different scenarios of what would happen if this were to happen, right? How we would respond or act. But the theory is they're controlling it because if you think about it, ghost stories, right? Alien stories, people that claim they seen them. Which ones are the most believable ones? The ones that only have one person, or the stories that have more than one person?
For real. Wow. I mean, I heard of that theory, but I I heard of that theory before, but I didn't think of that honestly.
But I haven't finished yet. But yeah, there's a lot to think about, right? So in computers, you know how everything renders in, right? There's certain things that isn't gonna load as fast enough because that computer cannot run that fast. So, for instance, in video games, Minecraft, all that stuff, right? Um, you know how you and me used to play a while ago, right? And I'd see things that you couldn't see because everything was loading in too slow. It couldn't keep up with the fact that we have two people. And there's a few researchers back, I believe in China or somewhere else. I forgot where, but where they did a study on molecules, and certain other things. I forgot what it was called, but there everybody was looking at these molecules vibrate or shake, and when it was happening, they seen it shake and stuff, right, vibrate. But that researcher got everybody out of the building. He set up a camera right there to watch it, and the next day they come back, they look at the footage, and the molecule or whatever it was isn't moving at all. It was perfectly still. Nothing moved, right? So, in video games, you know how we're so far away, to a point our render distance can't see it, right? And basically it's just still.
Um,
We can't see what's happening. It's just still. Now, with that coming into my mind is, what if we're all trapped inside a simulation that people, like humans, have created a superpowered computer for this, to see every scenario, to see everything, see different possibilities, options, everything else. Misa, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, hmm, honestly, um, it sounds really interesting to me. I mean, I like the theory, but there are like some things that are um, there's some things that are believable. Yes, I mean it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
And then there are other things that do not make sense, like how they control us, right? The scenarios. I mean, but it does make sense. But there's one thing that I thought it would make sense was that there would be little things in like the real world. Let's say something. What I believe is happening is, I mean, the simulation makes a little sense, but
yeah, no, it was
I believe that there is I believe in time travel. I mean,
I do too.
there yes, but time travel. And then we believe that there are like things like okay, let's be honest, there are a lot of coincidences that are happening, right? And um so time travel has to do with that. And I believe that somebody out there, we don't know, simulation probably, is altering reality or the historic, like let's say like the pandemic, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody
Like,
caused it on purpose. That's what I believe.
well,
Because there would, in another timeline, it just feels off. 2020 felt off to all of us for some reason.
it really did. Everything felt super weird, and throughout it, personally, I didn't feel like myself throughout the whole time of 2020.
2020, for real. Yeah, I don't know what. Like the vibes were really different. It's like you were somewhere else. It's like you weren't even on Earth.
Honestly, um, but yeah, that's kind of crazy though. Like, if you really think about it, I know none of it makes sense on my theory, but if you try to make it like try to understand it your best as possible, because I'm not really good at explaining anything, but if you manage to understand it, you'll it would break your mind, bro. Like when I did research on everything, I made it, I heard everything about it. It started to make sense, right? Because like I'm just saying it makes sense. But that concludes our dark simulation theory. Misa, it's your turn.
So my turn is about how each religion relates to afterlife, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Let me see. For example, there are a lot of people who think that in other religions that there are where it's reincarnation.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
looking for.
reincarnation, like
Um,
Buddhism, or Buddhism. I can't
yeah, like
pronounce it.
Buddhism or Hinduism,
Hinduism, yeah,
and
yeah,
they believe in that. And so, if you believe in, I feel like it's different for every religion. Like if you believe in that, like it will happen to you. Like let's say if you believe in reincarnation, you get reincarnated. If you
yeah.
believe in God, you go to heaven. If you don't believe in God, then
Like you don't believe
you
in
just
anything.
like you don't believe in anything, you won't end up anywhere. And it's only unique to you because it's what you believe in, and what you believe in will happen. Like it's manifestation. What you believe in will happen, right?
Yeah,
None of it's a coincidence. So that's what I believe that it's different for each religion, and it's different viewpoints. Like if you believe it hard enough, or if you have faith, then it will happen to you. And
honestly,
it makes sense because manifestation, the laws of attraction, the 369 theory, right? The 369 attraction. Uh,
yes,
Nikola Tesla, who did that, right?
yeah,
Nikola Tesla, where you had to do the 369 theory, 3 in the morning, 6 midday, 9 night. yeah, there's that, and then there's what was the other one? There was another law of attraction that I forgot what it was. It had to do with piece of paper,
Oh
but I
yeah, you
forgot
gotta
what
write
it
it on a
was.
piece
But
of
yes,
paper. You
yeah, but like then there's the one that's verbal, and then there's the one that I do, which is affirmation, where you say it long enough, it becomes true enough.
all right? So the one that I'm starting to do is the 369 method, where I'm supposed to say it 3 times in the morning in the mirror, saying like, "Oh, I want this," right? But I have to be specific. You honestly have to be specific with this. Like, what do you want? Like, if you want to be rich, what is rich to you? Like, what do you imagine rich is?
Yeah.
Like,
Um. Yeah, but you really shouldn't say it to a mirror. I mean, there's a whole other theory about the mirrors, right?
oh, bro, should we cover that one right now?
Well, I'm gonna just say it really quick.
I mean, I'll say it real quick.
Where like you really shouldn't. I mean, to some people, you really shouldn't um
You
be
really
talking to mirrors or anything like that.
you shouldn't be talking to your mirror. Um,
Yeah,
and there's a
yeah.
thing. If you look into your mirror in a dim lighting, supposedly you're supposed to
Mhm.
see like weird, unholy things on just weird, creepy things. And I've tried it personally, and I do not recommend doing it. Again, portals.
Or
I mean,
staring at yourself long enough in the mirror.
yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing any of that. But two portals. I mean, two windows. I mean, mirrors. Sorry, my bad. I messed up a few times.
You mean two mirrors facing near each other?
Yeah, two mirrors facing each other means it's a portal to like ghosts, demons, all that stuff. So I'd
Yeah,
recommend
that's why I
having
never.
mirrors in
Yeah,
separate areas, not facing each other.
yeah. Never fix. Yeah, and don't even talk to your mirror that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I mean that's basically the whole thing. Instead of doing the mirror thing, it's the paper thing is much more better.
Yeah, you write what you want, like I'm gonna give you an
Hmm.
example, right? Like you wanna be rich, right? So I'd write as soon as it's in the morning, like 8 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock, whatever, AM. If you write down, I want to be famous, I mean not famous, I want millions of people to know me for this and that, right? For positivity, you gotta say like for positivity, because you don't want any of that negative energy, and throughout that day you gotta think as positive as you can for the rest of the day. And as soon as it hits noon, you write it down 6 times. As soon as it's nighttime, like around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., you write it down 9 times, and that's supposed to help. But use a blue pen.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, I heard around the same thing basically. So you just yeah, basically what you explained it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So I guess it's my time to do my D.I.D theory, the Fight Club.
Hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So you guys know Fight Club, 1999, the movie, right? So with this movie, it's about a depressed person, a depressed man suffering from insomnia who meets a strange soap salesman named Tyler, right? It's in the movie. And the thing is, that person, he thinks he met a friend, but since he's losing sleep, he suffers from insomnia, right? You basically,
Hmm.
with DID, dissociative identity disorder, or I think it's that one or dissociation, but one of those. But with that, the thing is, if you lose sleep, it's gonna start affecting you even more. I believe it's dissociation, right? Because DID is like something else. But with dissociation, basically, if you lose sleep, it's gonna start affecting you, and you're not gonna feel like yourself. And in this movie, there's a like I said, he had a friend, right? We're gonna put there was no
Yeah.
one there. It was himself doing all these crazy things due to the lack of sleep. Because there's times where you wake up and you feel weird, right? because like due
Yeah.
to lack of sleep. Like honestly, I suffer from lack of sleep as well to a point. I feel like dissociation. Like there's things that I did that day that I can't remember, and people tell me that I did that. That's dissociation or dissociative identity disorder. So these, that's basically what Fight Club's about, is dissociation or dis whatever D.I.D. But yeah, it's about him losing sleep and having met a friend who like does all this fighting and like does all this crazy stuff, but it's just him. He just can't remember anything. He you're seeing how he's seen it, but whatever that person did was just him, and he can't remember any of it because he has dissociation or DID.
Oh. Hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. There's other. Yeah, I know what that is, and yeah, there's other form of media like what's it called? Jane from Doom Patrol. She has DID, and then I think everybody knows this movie Split.
Split is a good movie. Oh my god.
It's a good movie, but it really doesn't depict them in realistic because that what was depicted, right, was
Yeah,
not really a realistic kind of setting because there are real people who actually have this condition, and there the people who literally spoke out are have this condition, and they said that it's not really like that at all, or people close to those people who have the condition, like family members, whatever,
yeah,
they say that's not really how it really is in real life. But yeah, it's very. I mean, they don't really find it as it's not as scary as everybody thinks it is. You shouldn't really be scared, but it's I mean, people do have this condition.
that is true. Many people have this condition, and yeah, in Split, it's not how it is. But there's someone on TikTok. I forgot what his name was, but it was I seen his videos before I got banned. But he had DID, right? And it's like having more than it's obviously more than one personality, but like those people would come out randomly, and Ash was the main one. There was one that was a girl to a point she would same person, but they would shave their armpits, they'd put on makeup, they'd sound like a girl, and the other one they'd all act differently, depending on the gender and everything else. They'd act differently, and they have their own series on TikTok where if one of them haven't tried it, they're all gonna try this food or whatever it is. So
Mm,
each and every single one of those personalities are able to experience it, right? But DID could be
yeah,
formed through childhood trauma. It could just become through childhood trauma, just trauma in general. A lot of other ways. It's basically how the brain protects itself, kind of. All right.
but it's so much more than that. Yeah,
Yeah, but I had to put in a quick explanation, just so I can understand too. And
yeah.
you know what? I think we should include one more theory. All right. So this is a quick one. All right. My theory is about sleepwalking.
Mm,
What actually happens when you sleepwalk? You 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 can't remember, right? So why don't you remember the things
yeah,
you do? Well, you're sleeping, right? So of course you're not going to remember anything. But your body is doing that you will never do sometimes. So there's sometimes where you do something unusual when you're asleep, right? Well, I
yeah,
think that's your mind, your body doing what it actually wants to do because it's reacting by its own experimenting, well, own experiments or whatever. So what I'm saying is, it's like a walking empty vessel, right? Kind of like in the regular
yeah.
show cartoon when Rigby's body
Mm-hmm.
rejected him and it ran to off to eat healthy because Rigby just wanted to eat junk food, right?
Mm.
I forgot what episode I was in, but sleepwalking, in my conclusion, sleepwalking is basically your mind, your everything about you is like shut off, but your mind is still going and it still thinks it's the next day, so it's gonna do the thing that you've done before, repetitive. It's repeating itself, like muscle
Hmm.
memory, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yes. Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, you basically do everything. I mean, obviously, you know where it is, right? When you wake up, all that, you go downstairs. Obviously, so yeah, it just uses muscle memory to move around, like
Exactly.
when you're sleeping. Yeah.
But yeah, folks, that concludes our session of the Theory Boys, right? This is your host, Abel, right here, Misael,
And this is your co-host, Isao.
and that concludes our video, or yeah, our stream. We will talk to you guys next time. Peace out, dudes.